Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpole and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.
Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 159 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim Chef Curry Van Stratton. Alongside me is Rodney Newpole. Rodney, how are you, man?
Doing well, man. I'm doing well. It is a nice Tuesday. It's towards the end of July already, and here we are with another edition, 159 edition. My best bets for betting, we'll get to that a little bit later, but it wasn't great.
Yeah. We don't necessarily have to talk about it if you really do not want to.
I mean, it is part of our show. We can probably get to it a little bit later, but we'll see. But it wasn't great.
Well, you know what? You're here. You survived. Okay. We made it to another day on this great earth. That's really more important than anything that best bets could ever give us.
That's true.
Really.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I was very pleased when I was updating sort of the show topics for today, where I saw that we have 50 days until the NFL season. We are in the final 50 days of the offseason before we have NFL football. Regular season football, we're obviously going to have preseason here fairly soon. But regular season NFL football, I was watching a small teaser clip that the Giants put out there of John Harbaugh addressing the team, and I was smiling like the biggest dumbass ever. Like, I'm just sitting there watching on my phone. I'm just like, I'm just an actual adult head football coach, and like that's all it took for me to go all in on them. So I'm very excited for football.
Yeah, when the Giants open camp, like actually open camp, is that next week?
You know what? That's a good question. I should probably know that. I do know that they're opening in West Virginia this year because they're doing some construction around MetLife or whatever. So they're not going to be at their normal practice facility. They're going to be doing camp in West Virginia this year.
The West Virginia Giants. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll keep them more focused.
It's quite possible. I mean, there's not really anything to do in West Virginia. No disrespect to all the people from West Virginia that are watching us right now, but I've never it's probably one of the states that I know the least about. Yeah. Like that, Delaware, New Hampshire. I got nothing. I got nothing for you.
Yeah, I've only driven through West Virginia. That's where they burn the couches, though.
Burn the couches? What couches?
You've never heard the stories of burning couches?
I don't think so, no.
I'll have to give the full details on that. But
you don't know it off the top. You have to look it up. Why are you making me feel bad about not knowing burning couches? And then here you are just Googling it. I thought if this was such important information, you would know it. So
no, I'm only trying to get like the exact. So couch burning is notorious decade-long celebratory tradition at West Virginia University. Spontaneous street fires, most notoriously involving old couches, typically erupt after major sporting events, such as the backyard brawl. So that's when they play Pittsburgh. But West Virginia is apparently not famously, but well known for burning couches. I didn't know the whole backstory, but that was what it was. The fiery tradition first gained national infamy in the 90s and 2000s, leading the nation in unintentional nuisance street fires. So there you go.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I know about West Virginia. But good luck to the West Virginia Giants.
Good luck to them. Want to give a shout out to lead off the show to Gateway Sports. And Gateway's going to like what we have planned here in about a half hour or so, maybe even a little less, where I've concocted a fun even though it's in the middle of July, I feel like we need our own award show, like our end of year award show. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. But first, Rodney, can you tell our friends about Gateway Sports?
Yeah, no, if you love sports at every level, there's only one place you need to be. That's Gateway Sports. They cover it all from the preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voice, and real passion for the game, from live shows to podcasts. Gateway Sports connects the region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form and Recalibrate. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one Gateway, more simple and quick, from the fine folks over at Gateway Sports, who are not having a great sports time right now.
No, and that leads us in. You might have been peeking ahead at the show discussions here, but the St. Louis Cardinals. I threw you a bone here to lead off with Cardinal talk. Now, granted, it's probably not the type of talk that you were hoping for. So I'm just going to give you a recap. Not necessarily you. I know you're very aware of what the St. Louis Cardinals have been doing the last couple of days, but let's start on Sunday. So Sunday, the Cardinals were up 7-0 in Arizona. They gave up 3 runs in the 6th, 2 runs in the 7th, 2 runs in the 8th, went to extra innings, lost on a walk-off. So a 7-0 lead gone. Losing 8-7.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, yesterday they play the Los Angeles Angels. They get 2 runs pretty early on in the 2nd inning. Nothing after that. And give up 2 runs in the 9th, the last of which was where Riley O'Brien, the all-star closer, hit Joe Adell with the bases loaded to bring in the game-winning run. I saw the stat. It's the let me pull it up exactly, because I think ESPN mentioned it. The Angels had 106 straight losses entering the 9th inning when they were trailing, by far the longest active streak in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. I don't know what the hell Riley O'Brien was up to last night. He was throwing the ball all over the place. Part of the reason they got in that issue is he hit a guy earlier. And the funny thing was that
he hit Junior Caminero in the All-Star game.
Well, yeah, he almost killed him. But that the hit by pitch was on a 3-0 count too. Like, not even close to the plate.
Yeah.
And I just thought I would give you a quick update. The Angels scored 5 in the first tonight.
That was my final update to tie the loop there. Yeah. So, I'm looking at Riley O'Brien comes in the 9th inning, their 1-run lead. So he actually gets Mike Trout out, strikes him out, first batter, then gives up a base hit by pitch, double that was originally a home run, but they overturned, but the call of the field was a double here, but that was an RBI, intentional walk, hit by pitch.
It's not great.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it gives up. Who's pitching for the Cardinals tonight?
Yeah, Matthew Liberatore gave up 5 runs in the first. Yeah. Basically, before he got anybody out, he had 1 out, and then he struck out the last 2. But so that's really kind of what went on with the Cardinals last year too. They started the second half of the season in Arizona, did not play well. This is where they started their downfall, and losing 4 of their first 5 to start the second half of the season. Not a great way to go, and the last 2 will be to the Angels, the worst team in baseball, tied with the Colorado Rockies. So, not great.
Yeah. So let me ask you this now. So the St. Louis Cardinals team is now 51-48. They're 11.5 games back in the division. I think that you never had realistic division thoughts, especially with the Brewers doing what they're doing. Brewers, by the way, now have the best record in all of baseball, ahead of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I was told that their bullshit would end. Anyway, I digress.
I mean, I've been wrong a few times. In check best bets for betting and let me know if I've been wrong before, a time or two.
Yeah, but all that to say, Cardinals division not a thing. Wild card, they are still, and this is where it gets interesting here. Because what is going on with the Cardinals here is kind of a regression to the mean. This is like, okay, great. It's happening 10 days before the deadline. this is kind of what would make them go in the direction of, hey, maybe we need to not be aggressive buyers. They're tied for the last playoff spot still, because there hasn't been a team that has surged. Like the Marlins were that team, but the Marlins have lost 7 in a row.
7, yeah.
The Pirates are, playing better, and they're among the 3 teams that are tied there for that last spot. But it's not like the Pirates are, world beaters by any means. Then you have the Diamondbacks and Nationals, the Padres, that are all sort of in that range still. But like Padres, Nationals have been 500 over their last 10. The D-backs have been 6-4 in their last 10. All of those wild card teams, like none of them have played exceptional baseball coming out of the break, even going into the break. So like, where do you go if you're the Cardinals? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that you can justify saying, hey, if we have a bad week this week, I know you mentioned, this is going to determine whether they're buyers or sellers. Like, if they have a bad week, I don't know if you could justify selling, where if they could get swept by the Angels, hypothetically, they could, lose a series right after that, and they would still have a playoff spot or be like a game back.
Yeah, I don't know where you go. I think it's going to be unpopular, but they're probably mostly just going to stand pat. And honestly, you could see a Riley O'Brien or a Jojo Romero getting traded. And that's kind of, Jojo Romero's been out since the All-Star break with the appendectomy. And we're seeing that pretty bad bullpen has gotten much worse without the veteran left-hander. I don't think you'll see them go get any pieces. I just don't like. I don't know. Like, what piece would they get? Like, what's gonna starting pitcher? So the one guy I didn't mind was Soriano, who they faced last night, because the Angels are going to try to trade him. Cubs are going to be interested in him as well.
Well, the starting pitching market, Soriano, I think with his control and his age, it probably is going to require quite a bit, and I'm sure it's not a price that the Cardinals are going to be willing to meet, because there are going to be teams that are in a win now position that do have sort of the more all-in mentality where they can beat a Cardinals team that's just sort of testing the waters there.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. Yeah, you're right. But back to your point, I actually think Cardinal fans are going to be awfully disappointed, because I don't think you're going to see much from them during this deadline. It's just a hard spot to be in, because like, what do you go get? I mean, you're trying to play a lot of these young guys. Like Alec Burleson's going to play first. JJ is going to play second. Mason Wynn's going to play. Maybe if you went and got a third baseman, but is that going to move the needle? Probably not. So I think it's going to be a pretty quiet deadline, actually.
I tend to agree with you. Like if I had to say right now, I think they kind of just do nothing.
Yeah.
And if they get an offer for a pitcher where they would be trading that pitcher, like, and it's just too good to pass up, I don't think they would pass it up. Like I don't think that they're going to be like, well, we're holding on to everyone, like we're not taking any calls. They'll take calls, and if they get a call on someone, I think they'd definitely be open to it. I think that that's probably more likely than them really going out and being aggressive to try to add on. Because like this whole year was supposed to be sort of a, hey, let's see the young guys go out there. Let's just see what we currently have. And first half was a super pleasant surprise. Jordan Walker's transformation into all-star home run derby winner was not anticipated, but certainly welcome. But now you sort of have to stay the course. And they're a smart enough organization, I think, especially with a new person running the front office, to where they're not going to overreact to one half of one season under the new plan and direction.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned a wild card, because the Marlins look like they're going to lose their 8th straight, so which would put Pittsburgh. I don't know if people are buying into Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh's another market. Like, what are they going to do at the deadline? Are they going to buy to try to buy that third one? Marlins don't typically go get players. So is it going to be like San Diego, Arizona, who we have seen over the years really try to be aggressive?
Of the three, like if you say Cardinals, Marlins, Pirates, who is the likeliest to go out and make a move to try to improve your chances? I'd say Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
and like,
probably.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's cheap, but like the Marlins are somehow cheaper. and they play in and they play in a pretty tough division to try to compete financially. And then the Cardinals, we just talked about. But like, I think the Pirates are sitting there and saying, "Hey, look, we have Paul Skeens. We need to at least like try to maximize this."
Yeah.
And they have, for the first time in forever, a legitimately great offense. They have a great offense. They have the 5th best run differential in the National League. There's just the top 4 teams, and then the Pirates are right there. So, like, they're scoring a lot of runs. They're getting decent pitching. Like, they're in the best position, I think, to actually go and get someone as well, and not really go all out to where, hey, we're gonna mortgage the farm to get Scooble. Even though I think honestly, like Scooble there as a 1-2 with Skeens would be an awesome thing for Pirates fans.
It would be insane. Think about that playoff rotation. In the best of 3, like you got 2 dudes right there right off the start, and even the best of 5, you're seeing those guys 3 out of 5 times. So
like it's a wild. Yeah, imagine a wild card round. You get Skeens, Scooble 1-2. And the Pirates offense, which is a top 3 offense in baseball right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you predicted the Pirates a couple weeks ago, so here you go.
Well, I predicted them, and then they lost like 10 of their next 12 games.
Yeah.
So
for sure. It was the Tim curse.
So, it was, and I don't want to do that again. I'm just saying, like I think they're the best positioned of all those teams, and include Arizona in there, include Washington. I can't figure out what to make about the Padres.
Yeah. I mean, is it just a case of like aging veterans there? Like aging veterans just not getting it done?
I think so. I don't know. Like I was pretty down on them going into the year. It's just they lost a lot of the depth that I thought made them a really scary team.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that Tatis took about 2 months to hit a homer.
if not more.
If not more, yeah. Who, by the way, he did homer today. It was the longest home run of the season so far, 474 feet. So
he's back.
He's finding his form. But like Manny Machado's been terrible. They're well. I guess we'll lead into this here because one of the rumblings, and it does concern the Padres. If you would have told me 6 months ago that we would be talking about Mason Miller,
right,
as a trade target. But like if the Padres are looking and saying we're nowhere close right now, which at this point, like they're nowhere close to the Dodgers. They're not even above 500 and teams are passing them by left and right.
Yeah.
Is a trade of Mason Miller one of like the only things that could sort of get your farm system back? Because like Dick gave up a prospect who right now is like the 2nd or 3rd best prospect in all of baseball. I don't remember his name. It's Leo DeVries, I think, who they sent to the Athletics for Mason Miller. He's a top 5 prospect in baseball. Like they went all out because they felt that Mason Miller was the missing piece. And Mason Miller's amazing. He's easily the best closer in the game, but it's not helping. It's not helping. Like, you can't really be a successful team with your best player as your closer. You kind of need more than that. So,
where do you think's a good fit for Mason Miller?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Yeah. So, okay, like look at the standings right now and look at the teams that have a chance to win. So, like, Yankees obviously come to mind. And I think Bednar's a free agent at the end of the year too. So, like, that's obviously a huge fit. I think any of the American League West teams, like, I know Seattle has Munoz, but imagine, Mason Miller going back there. That would be unreal. I think the Braves, to put Iglesias back into a setup role, and then you have Mason Miller closing things out. They're not going to trade. They're not going to trade within the division. What about? And this is gross. What about the Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, because the Cubs. So as bad, and the Cubs are really as bad as the stretches they've had. Like the Cubs are lingering as still a pretty good team, right? Like they're going to be one of the 2 wild cards, and they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs because of how streaky their offense is.
They're going to be a tough out because of their offense. Period. Like I don't trust their pitching. I don't know what pitchers will be available for them. They've made a couple moves, like very minor moves, to sort of add pitchers this year. So they're clearly looking for them. They're in that market. Palencia, the closer, has been hurt. So that's why I was like, obviously Mason Miller's a fit there. But like that's the Cubs making that sort of move is them saying, like, that is the one piece that we need to actually win the National League. Do they think that Mason Miller puts them ahead of – I mean, no one's going to put them ahead of the Dodgers, but, like, do they think that puts us ahead of the Braves, ahead of the Brewers, ahead of the Phillies? Like,
I mean, Mason Miller would probably cement the Cubs as the 3rd best team in the National League if they're not already, right? Like, Cubs Brewers, I'd probably take the Cubs. I don't know. Maybe not. Then you got Sale in there. Cubs – Phillies, but when you get Mason Miller, I think you become the number 3. But is that good enough? Like you don't become better than a team you're 10 games behind in the Brewers just because you get Mason Miller. At least in my opinion.
I mean Mason. Yeah, you would have to say Mason Miller's a 10 WAR player, which
right. Yeah,
as good as he is, no closer is going to be a 10 WAR player.
No. So, I mean, the addition probably locks him in as a 3rd, but like we all know, like things happen in the postseason and it certainly gives them a better chance to win games, especially late in the game. So, yeah, that's not a bad thought, Mason Miller to the Cubs. But I like your first answer. Anybody, all of them.
Right. Yeah. Now, a couple other rumblings here. So there's a lot of talk about the all-star level catchers. I think this deadline is going to be defined by the catchers, and the big one is Hunter Goodman. And I've seen the Red Sox tied to Hunter Goodman, which this Red Sox team, Rodney, I don't know if you've noticed, they've won 14 games in a row. A team that we both thought was dead in the water is now surging and just they're 51-48, and in a weak American League, they're now in a playoff spot. Does Hunter Goodman make sense for them?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I kind of like it because I picked Boston in our show last week. Now they were on that huge winning streak already, but I think it does give them a fit.
Could you imagine? Because here's the thing, like I could legitimately see. The Rockies, the reports are they would have to really get a tremendous offer, which makes sense. Like he's a catcher, he has 30 home runs already just after the break. He's a back-to-back All-Star. Like the guy's awesome, and at a position like that, there's so much value there. But like it could come down to the Yankees bidding against the Red Sox.
Yeah, it could.
Because both of those teams could desperately use someone like Hunter Goodman, like. Not just as a bat at catcher, but just a bat like that, period.
Yeah, no, a nice bat there. What other names are that you think are on the Yankees targets right now?
Well, I think catcher is their biggest need. So if Hunter Goodman is just going to cost too much, I think Ryan Jeffers from Minnesota, like that's a name that seemingly been linked to them for like 2 months.
Right.
I don't think you're going to be able to convince Baltimore to trade you Adley Rutschman in the division. But Adley Rutschman is one of those names that's been floating out there. Maybe, I mean, Philadelphia's JT Realmuto, but he's not nearly the player he once was. So maybe Philadelphia is a fit for Adley Rutschman. But no, I think like Yankees are looking at catcher. I think that there's just a few relievers. I don't see them going the starting pitching route anymore. Not with Max Fried coming back tomorrow. Yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, like, they should look and say, yeah, even though we're behind Tampa Bay by a couple of games, like the American League is so, like, off this year that all we need is just, like, a couple pieces to really elevate it. That by the time Judge comes back, hell, it could even be September by the time Judge gets back, but at least then we'll be in a position to where we would have the best roster in the league. So I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to get a guy like Goodman because it's really going to cost so much. but that would be obviously the best case scenario.
Yeah. Your opinion, best player that gets traded. Will it be Mason Miller? I mean, if he got traded, he'd be the best player, but who will be the best player traded?
It's a good question. I'll still say, so I think we're going to talk a lot about Goodman. I think we'll talk a lot about Miller. I don't think either of them end up getting dealt. I'll say Skubal still ends up being the top one.
Okay. I mean, if he gets traded, he is the top one. Not those other two guys. I mean, I'm taking Skubal over Goodman. Maybe not Mason Miller.
Well, Mason Miller, not just the quality of pitcher that they've been this year, but also there's a control element. Like Skubal, it's a straight up 2-month rental.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I was trying to think. So you mentioned Tampa Bay. Haven't they struggled since the break? They're coming back to earth.
Well, I mean, they've been playing Boston. They got swept by Boston, but they've won 2 in a row now. So I think they're back on track here. I'm sure. Who's Tampa Bay facing this week? Do you remember?
I don't remember. No.
Let's see. Oh, they're facing the Blue Jays. Yeah, they clobbered the Blue Jays today, 12-2. Just annihilated Kevin Gausman. And then yesterday they won as well. So, yeah, they're another team that I think has been linked. Yeah, they won 7-1 yesterday. So they won 7-1 and 12-2 against the Blue Jays. Yeah, they've been linked to a lot of people as well. I definitely think they'll make a move, but like, well, so I'm sure you know this, or maybe you just forgot, but like when the Angels had Shohei Ohtani in those last few months, the Rays were very, very aggressive in trying to get Shohei Ohtani, knowing that it was a rental, and even offered the Angels Junior Caminero, who at the time was just a prospect. Right. So the Rays have shown, if you buy into that if they feel like there's a chance for them to be a piece away from winning a World Series, that they'll do it because they trust that they'll be able to replenish their farm system, that they'll develop guys, which like Milwaukee does the same thing. So perhaps we're overlooking Tampa Bay as a destination to get a really big name where we say like, wow, they really went all out to get this player, but like it would make them the best team in the AL.
Right.
Probably puts them ahead of for sure puts them ahead of the Yankees if they get like a really meaningful player.
Yeah.
Why not? And then you take your chances in the World Series against the Dodgers. Like, right. Why not?
One more question. I'm kind of turning it into a question and answer here. Brewers go get anybody?
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
Now, you mentioned you thought Skubal would go. Is he going to the Brewers?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I mentioned Skubal to the Brewers like couple months ago as like it's kind of a new 2026 CC Sabathia version, which like that would be incredible for the Brewers. Well, Brandon Woodruff, like there's a chance Brandon Woodruff might not pitch again, period.
Yeah.
Getting another major surgery. So no Woodruff in that rotation. They still have Jacob Mizorowski, but to have Mizorowski, Skubal leading your rotation, like that really then puts you in the conversation of could you actually go up against the Dodgers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like it makes the most sense. Is that the splash? Is that the biggest move? I think it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And the Brewers know that this is their opportunity. I mean, you called it. You didn't really necessarily predict it, but you said that could be a possibility. I think you're onto something still. Skubal to the Brewers. You heard it here first.
Skubal's going to go to a National League Central team.
Uh-oh.
National League Central.
Uh-oh. There's really so you really think the Pirates could be in play?
It's possible.
Well, Cardinals ain't getting him.
Cardinals ain't getting him. No, it would be the Brewers, the Cubs, or the Pirates.
Reds ain't getting him.
It'll be the Brewers, the Cubs, or the Pirates. That's where he'll go.
That's dangerous.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Cards.
Anyways.
All right, real quick. Let's do rapid fire here. A couple things before we get to the Dummy Awards. The Dummy Awards. All right. So what do you do at thumbs down? You're not going to miss the World Cup?
Nope.
No. Did you know that this World Cup, Rodney, the final game, Spain versus Argentina, averaged 66.4 million combined viewers in the United States. It's the largest non-Super Bowl audience since the 1994 Olympics.
I was one of
32 years. Oh, yeah. Terrible game.
Awful. You asked the question, am I going to miss the World Cup? The answer is no. Did I watch the World Cup? The answer is mostly yes. I watched all of the U.S. games that I was around for. Once the U.S. was eliminated, I kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But I was able to get home in time for the title game, and I watched that. And I really watched it more for Messi. I was like, what's Messi going to do? And I could not believe, and I hate to say this because this shows how little I watch soccer. I could not believe how much Messi stood around. Literally just stands there. The ball might be 6 feet to his left, and he ain't going to go get it. Just not going to do it.
It's called energy conservation. I don't know if you know this, but Argentina kind of like to save their energy for late in the game. But they couldn't even do that. They had two shots, none of which were actually on the goalie. The goalie for Spain made 0 saves. 0 saves in a shutout that went to extras. Spain was dominant. Spain, by the way, gave up a goal the entire World Cup. A goal. Just one.
Yeah. Spain is really good.
They're good. Very, very deserving champs. It was a fun World Cup. I am going to miss it. I do like the World Cup. But, I think that it's a long tournament. It's a long, long tournament. And we could use the break a little bit. So see you in 4 years, Rodney, for the next time we talk soccer here on the show. Congratulations to Ryan Fox, 39 years old. An Open champion, won it with a pretty clutch birdie putt on the 18th hole to avoid a playoff with Cameron Young. I thought for sure we were going to get that playoff. I was like, Ryan Fox, no way he's going to hit this putt. But he did. So congrats to him. I have no idea where he was ranked, like what his odds were going in. I mean, he's not one of the top 10, 15 golfers in the world, I don't think. So kind of a surprising winner there. And
good for him. Like it was great that he had shot a 62. So he obviously deserved shot well over 4 days. But yeah, I know you're big, and seeing the big dogs win the championship didn't happen. But good for Ryan Fox, 39 years old, winning it. Congrats, man.
Ancient, decrepit. So now, after 4 majors in 2026, we had a back-to-back champion, Rory. We had Aaron Rai, who wears 2 gloves, who I think a lot of people didn't hear of until that weekend. But according to Skeeter Robinson, is exceptional. We had Wyndham Clark in the U.S. Open, and we had Ryan Fox at the Open Championship. This is going to be one of those years where in like a decade, if you ask golf fans who won the 4 majors in 2026, you're going to have a lot of people really, really struggling to name them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't name them all.
I had a tough time remembering Aaron Rai from the PGA, like when I was thinking about it earlier this week. I was just trying to remember, and the name. It's like I saw the face, I saw the gloves, but like the name was escaping me. Yeah. I can't imagine what it's going to be like 5-10 years from now.
Yeah, no, you say worst year. I don't know. We could go back and look. I don't know if it's the worst year, but it wasn't a great year. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, so many really good players are over at Live now, which kind of makes like there's such wild cards in the majors now. Like Scotty Scheffler was really good in all of them. Like a lot of the guys were really good in all of them, but like of course it's just hard to win tournaments. I think there's just a lot of really good players now. Like there are just more and more really exceptional golfers, more so than there were like earlier. It's kind of like in baseball where there only used to be a handful of guys that hit 100, and now everyone could throw 100. That's kind of what it's like in golf now, where it used to be like only a couple guys can hit long drives. Only a couple guys can have these perfect irons. But like now, a lot of them can do it at any given tournament, and that's pretty obvious now, given who the 4 major winners were. But it definitely is interesting now because you can no longer be like, oh, at the end of the day, only the big dogs are going to win. Like you can't say that anymore.
Right.
Not if Ryan Fox and Aaron Ryan, Wyndham Clark are going to be winning majors. Yeah. You can't just be like, oh, it's Rory or Scotty, and like that's the analysis. Can't do it.
I mean, I could,
and you will.
Yeah.
And you will. All right. Last note before our awards. Any day now, LeBron.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this. It was a while ago. Like, is he going to drag this out? And the answer is yes. And I was listening to somebody today, and they were like, "Well, the longer this goes, the more the NBA gets really irritated with LeBron holding on to their schedule. At some point, Adam or somebody's going to call him up, right, and be like, okay, like you got to do this, or we'll throw something in here at you if you do, but." You gotta do this because we need to announce our schedule. But yeah, it's gonna be Miami now, isn't it?
Except there was apparently this person who's like close with LeBron, and a bunch of Ohio people were saying that like, oh, this is a big deal. And the guy tweeted that like, oh, he's coming home, he's going to Cleveland. But then also like the internet thinks that the Heat put something out on their YouTube channel accidentally for like a video that hasn't happened yet of LeBron's press conference, July 27th. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I feel like Golden State's out of the picture, though.
I haven't heard a lot about them. It does feel like Cleveland or Miami, right?
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you. Like earlier, I was Philadelphia, Golden State as my 1-2. Now they're my 3-4. I'm probably on Miami 1, Cleveland 2, Philly 3, Golden State 4 now. And it's funny because our old boy Michael Rizzo was on with Jim Matson, and obviously he's down there in the Miami area, and he likes to talk and he likes to hear himself talk, but he was like, guys, nobody really truly knows where LeBron's going to go, and if somebody says they do, they don't, right? Like and not saying he has inside information, but he's a little bit closer to the situation down there in Miami, and they don't know. Nobody knows. So, but you're right. Any day now, like, let's get this done with. It's time.
Yeah. Did you know that LeBron has taken more time to make this decision than any of the previous 3 free agencies he's had combined?
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
So, any day now, LeBron. Will he have a team by our next show on Thursday?
We did that like 2 weeks ago.
I'm asking you again.
I'm going to say no.
No. Someone pointed out that, like, hey, Anthony Davis's deadline to sign an extension in Washington is August, blah, blah, blah. I forget who suggested it, but it was like, LeBron could wait until then, because then what would happen is he'll sign somewhere, and then Anthony Davis could request a trade to play with LeBron and team up there. I was like, oh.
Does LeBron even want to play with Anthony Davis anymore?
Right, like because it worked so well in LA those last few years.
Yeah, and honestly, like, do people really want to go out and like? Are they dying to play with Anthony Davis anymore?
I mean, I love AD, but like, I wouldn't mortgage my career on playing with Anthony Davis, all things considered. Yeah, not at this point.
No. I mean, so you got options of like going to play with Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, or AD. Like, AD's not going to be on the top of that list. Sorry, it's not. So, anyways, any day now, LeBron.
Any day now. All right, shall we get to it, Rodney?
The first ever Dummy Awards, and I love this. I think this is a great time in July. It like coincides with like the slow period. It's like SB's time for us.
You get the vision. This is the vision. I was like, man, we really missed it like during SB's week to do something. I was like, well, hold on. It's arguably slower now because we
Yeah.
don't have an Open Championship. We don't have a World Cup. This might be the slowest week in sports. It is like just baseball in the WNBA.
Well, the WNBA is off tonight, and they will be off the next couple. They'll play tomorrow, but
So it's just baseball.
Yeah, basically. MLS is back.
I thought we were done talking about soccer, Rodney. You promised.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are the Dummy Awards, the dummies for short. What we did is we have 6 dummies to hand out tonight. Voting went up on our official Twitter page at Stupid Sports Show, no W at the end. You can go to Twitter now and vote, but I think the results are going to be locked in by the time we read these. So, shall we reveal the Dummy Awards for? And this counts. This is over the last year, so this is from like last July up until now. Okay,
Yeah.
so like there's fall of 2025 does apply to the dummies for this year, just to clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off. This is a loaded one right off the bat. The biggest GCD of the year. As you know, Rodney, and I believe you're the one who coined the phrase, GCD stands for gutless choking dog.
Yeah, that's been years now. That's been years in the making for gutless choking dogs. But yes, and I like your 4 choices here. You can briefly give the synopsis of them.
So the biggest gutless choking dogs of the year, we have the San Antonio Spurs, who really you could say choked for like all 4 of their losses in the NBA Finals, but specifically Game 4.
Yeah.
You have the Green Bay Packers, who I don't know if you remember this, Rodney. They gave up 25 points to the Chicago Bears in the 4th quarter of a wild card game and lost. You have the Duke Blue Devils, who led by 19 points against UConn in the Elite Eight, and what happened? Gutless losers. And then lastly, the Colorado Avalanche, who didn't necessarily have a game that they led by a bunch and choked, but it's more so the fact that they were the President's Cup team, the Stanley Cup favorite the entire year, who then went out and got swept in the Western Conference Final.
So before you reveal the winner, did you vote?
I did vote.
Okay. I did as well. Should we give our choices first, or should we reveal the winner?
Let's give our choices.
I chose the Green Bay Packers.
Wow. Green Bay. Was it because it was a Chicago team?
Maybe. But all they had to do is take care of the ball and get a stop or two. That game. Yeah. Anyways, I voted the Green Bay Packers.
I voted for the San Antonio Spurs. Because it is official.
Yeah.
It's official. According to the votes, according to our listeners, the San Antonio Spurs are the GCDs of the year. I can't really say I'm too surprised.
No.
In all honesty.
No, that Game 4 was epic.
Yep, the voting, by the way, I have the live results. So the Spurs got 40% of the vote. The Duke Blue Devils came in second with 26.7%. The Packers were 20%, and the Colorado Avalanche at 13.3%. So all of them did get votes, but the Spurs, a pretty comfortable winner, as the GCD of the year.
Congrats, Spurs.
Congrats. Our next dummy goes to the most punchable face. I had a lot of fun putting this one together. I did not have a lot of fun finding the faces to put up on our poll. Nick Sirianni, who really, this should be called the Nick Sirianni Most Punchable Face Award.
Yeah.
It should be named after him. Carson Beck, who is one of the most hideous people to look at. Pete Crow Armstrong, who I feel like you might have voted for. And then Dalton Rushing from the LA Dodgers, who kind of a sleeper one, but like Dalton Rushing's face is mad punchable.
Oh man, I just zoomed in on Dalton Rushing. Oh man,
it's awful, right? Awful face.
That is bad.
Awful face. So
yeah,
who did you vote for here?
Yeah, that's PCA, the blue-haired version of PCA. I will, spoiler alert, he did not win this contest. I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but yeah. I voted PCA. I already know who you voted for. You would have this question 6 times if you could, and it would be the same answer every time.
I would put up his face at all 4 categories. Nick Sirianni is the dummy winner for most punchable face of the year. He got 50% of the vote.
Yeah.
Dalton Rushing was second. Rushing was second. So So I'm glad the face is catching on. PCA was third, and then Carson Beck, I think, got a vote or 2. So
yeah. All right, that's a good one. That was a good one. This next one, we're gonna have a 3-way tie, though, man.
Yeah. Which that is a new that's a new development here. This is kind of the problem with not closing the voting here. So the best see ya then, and for those that don't know, this is like the team whose downfall was the most satisfying. So we already touched on Duke a little bit. Vegas losing in the Stanley Cup final, the Kansas City Chiefs just their entire season collapsing, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder. I thought they would win 70 games. They didn't make the NBA Finals. But we had the Knights and the Chiefs and Duke all end up in a 3-way tie. So like a shared hatred of all 3 of those teams that our listeners enjoyed the demise of. The Thunder were the only ones to escape.
Yeah, but not far off. 26%.
Not far
26%. 21%, not far off at all. Good one here. I voted for the Duke Blue Devils.
I knew you would.
Yeah. That's a Duke.
You want to guess who I voted for?
You voted for the Vegas Golden Knights.
You're damn right I did.
Yeah, you're not a fan of Vegas.
Damn right I did.
I got that. All right, congrats to the Knights, Chiefs, and Duke.
I should have put the Eagles on there too, but I feel like that's just me. Like that would just be me. Like I had to think like about the general public here, and clearly, like the fact that all 4 of them were so close, like I think that shows like the category, the nominees were the right ones.
Yeah, no, good question.
All right, next we have just the worst team. This is the team that would just when you think of just horrendous athletics, you have the Rockies, you have the Jets. You have the Canucks, and I put the Nets there. And then even though the Nets didn't have the worst record, like that somehow to me makes them even worse because like they didn't even get like a top 3 pick out of their failure, and they have nothing. They have nothing. So I included them. So Rockies, Jets, Canucks, and Nets.
And I find it interesting because not a single person voted for the Nets.
Yeah, apparently everyone's so bullish on the Nets.
I voted for the winner. And this appears to be a pretty significant margin of the winner. I voted the Colorado Rockies. That program, that organization, that franchise has been miserable. They're miserable again this year, 57%, the Rockies. I think you voted for the Jets.
I did vote for the Jets.
Yeah, perfect. 4
I did.
4. Yeah.
I did vote for the Jets, who got 35, just under 36%. So it was really like Rockies and Jets dominated. Yeah. There was like a random Canucks vote that was probably Hockey Guy Dan. And then no one voted for the Nets there. So a little bit lopsided here, but the Rockies, a decisive dummy award for worst team. All right, there's 2 more categories. 2 more. So this is the WTF move of the year. These are the moves that, like, whether they shocked us when they happened or they're just like, oh, damn. I have Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers. This is the most recent one on here.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Kiffin going to LSU. Maybe not surprising that he left, more so like he left when he did and the whole sort of chaos around all of it. I have John Tortorella to Vegas. This is Vegas firing their head coach with under 10 games to go in the regular season, then bringing in Tortorella, who was on ESPN. And then finally, the Myles Garrett getting traded to the Super Bowl favorite Rams, making them even more of a Super Bowl favorite. So, Rodney, who did you vote for here as the WTF move of the year?
I voted for John Tortorella to the Vegas Golden Knights.
I did too. That was the one of all of these. That was the one that like literally made me go, wait, what?
Yeah,
like more than any of these moves, even the Jaylen Brown one. Like the Jaylen Brown, like at least we knew a trade was coming. But I did not think John Tortorella would be hired as a head coach in April.
No, I'm with you there. That was an odd one for a playoff team that's going to the playoffs. Fire your coach, hire a new coach, and he gets to the Stanley Cup Finals. But so I find it interesting Nobody was WTF'd by the Myles Garrett trade.
No, apparently we all expected the Rams to go out to get Myles Garrett. Okay.
Nobody was. There was like a couple people that thought Lane Kiffin at LSU was WTF.
Yeah.
I mean, now nothing Lane Kiffin does to me is really like WTF. I mean, maybe everything Lane Kiffin does is WTF. But anyways, so our winner was
overwhelmingly Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers. 73% of the voters said Jaylen Brown getting traded. And I think it was who he got traded to and what he got traded for.
Yeah, that's probably right.
And I get it. Like we both said Torts, but like I get it. And Torts to Vegas was second at 20%. Lane Kiffin to LSU got a vote, and then no one wanted Myles Garrett. But yeah, Jaylen Brown, like I totally get it. Hard to argue. And our final dummy. This is what I call the Shush Award. Now, the Shush Award, this is basically the media personality that you would like to mute forever. I have to be careful here. And I'll tell you, Rodney, full disclosure, I almost put Dave Portnoy on there.
Yeah.
But I feel like if there was someone who would like look up his own name on Twitter and then try to fight back, it would be Dave Portnoy. And so I just avoided it.
And we would lose that conversation.
Right. Like, and I was like, you know what? I am going to pick my battles here. So instead I put our own name.
Because there's another, I would do the same with Clay Travis or even Dan Dockich. Both those guys could be on this list, but like those are also guys I feel like they would fight back, and it would be the end of our show because we just get trolled mercifully.
Yeah, like there's no chance that Stephen A, McAfee, or Perkins are gonna come at us for this.
Yeah, no.
But those ones that you said, 100%. And honestly, like I think those three I would put over these three. But regardless, the Shush Award. Who would you want to mute forever? Stephen A, Pat McAfee, Kendrick Perkins, or us? The good news, we were in last. We only got like a vote or two. So there's only one person that listens and follows us but doesn't like us. So I'll take it.
I went with Stephen A. Smith.
See, I went with Kendrick Perkins.
Well, I met Stephen A. Smith in New York, and I don't mind Stephen A. Smith. I just feel like when he gets going, like he just knows he needs to be quiet. And he just goes further and further on. I could do without him every single day. Is really probably my answer here. I
have been entertained by Stephen A. before. I've been entertained by McAfee. At no point has Kendrick Perkins ever said anything enlightening or entertaining. His analysis is terrible, and he's not entertaining. I think he's probably the most overrated media personality in the entire sports media landscape. I digress.
And he made the cut over this week.
He did. Yeah, he's like the lead analyst on their studio shows, which is just that 2008 Celtics team. I do not understand how all of them are in such high regard. But moving on.
Anyways,
Kendrick Perkins, that was my vote. That was a personal vendetta of mine. It did not work because Stephen A. Smith was the winner. Just under 50% of our voters said, Stephen A., enough of you. Enough. I get it.
This was a good award show, and this is something that'll have to happen every July, right after the Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
I would like to expand it a little bit. Like these were just the categories that I could think of, but like throughout the year, if we ever think of like what things should we sort of incorporate for the dummies, like I would love to do a full like hour-long dummy and really have some build up to it.
Yeah, I like it. Good work on this. Good work.
All right. And now, speaking of good work,
no. Speaking
let's
of dummies,
get to best bets for betting.
Speaking of dummies,
you know what we'll do? Hey, I'll let you sit a little bit. Let's start with me. I had a very tough week. So a 1-4 week, the Guardians and Pirates game. First of all, I'm totally with you, man. Like I bet this game thinking it was going to be Friday. It got rained out. It got moved to Saturday. They split the doubleheader on Saturday, but because the Friday game was the earlier game, the Pirates won that one 7-1. So I had to give the loss there. The Orioles beat the Astros. The Brewers won. The Mariners got crushed, like terrible. And then Spain, Argentina, I was minutes away from a draw. But And honestly, like, it should not have been a draw. Spain should have won that game like 5-0. So 1-4 for me. That brings me to 103-102. And all throughout the weekend, I was dreading best bets because I'm like, oh God, I got killed. This is going to be bad. I bet Rodney was great.
Yeah, well,
and then I started putting in the results.
Yeah, you were wrong on that. I took a 0 for 5.
This is your first one. Yeah. Welcome.
0 for 5. And before so that's my record. Like, that's absolutely miserable. I'm 15 games under 500. That is absolutely miserable. But moving back to Friday, Cubs Twins. I had the Cubs. They didn't win. Twins won 5-2, so not even close. I had soccer on Saturday. I had France beating England, and wasn't England up 4-0? Yeah. Or England was up 4-0 in that one, right? Yeah.
England was up 4-0. Yes.
Yeah.
Almost blew it, but yes, they were up 4-0.
Yeah. Well, it was never. I mean, yeah, it got close, but anyways, lost that one. I went on a limb and thought Argentina would beat Spain. Well, they didn't even get a shot. Spain won, so took an L on that one. I had Caitlin Clark in her fever. Now, I will say, Caitlin Clark was pretty good in this game. This was the one she had, was the first ever WNBA player to record 40-plus points, 10-plus assists in a game. She had 45, but the Fever did not win by 8.5 points. In fact, they only won by 3 at home over Seattle, so I didn't get that one. But I went back with the WNBA and thought, okay, the Mercury are at home, and they take on the Sun. Sun have not been very good. In fact, the Sun are 7-19. They can't win in Phoenix. They did. The Sun won by 13 over the Mercury. So not only did I not cover 4.5, a 4.5-point favorite lost by 13. I went 0-5. I'm now 95-110, and that is absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable.
It's not your best.
No.
But it is your worst.
Yeah. Not good. Not good.
Can't get worse, though. You can't get worse unless we expand it to 6 best bets. And in that case, it could get worse.
It could. Yeah. Anyways.
The rare 1-4 week for me where I gained ground in the standings. I increased my lead.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. We'll have more best bets for you on Thursday. All right. Real quick, Rodney, a couple minutes left. So let's remember someone. And this is a name that popped into my head over the weekend. I've been holding on to it. I did not want to forget it. Remember Sharif Abdur-Rahim?
Yeah, I do. And before we go any further, I do want to remember his brother who passed away in 2024, Amir Abdul-Rahim, who was the head coach at University of South Florida, the Bulls. But anyways, yes, I do remember Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
Abdur.
3rd overall pick in 1996, right?
Yes, of the then Vancouver Grizzlies. That was a good draft, Rodney. Are you ready for this top 6?
Yeah, let's do the draft talk first before we get to more on Abdur-Rahim. Yes, let's listen to it.
This top 6, Allen Iverson, number
Good
1
player.
overall. Marcus Camby, number 2 overall.
Good player.
Sharif Abdur-Rahim, number 3.
Yeah.
Stephon Marbury, number 4. Ray Allen, number 5. Antoine Walker, number 6.
Yeah.
And that's not counting later in the draft where you get number 13, Kobe Bean Bryant, 14, Peja Stojakovic, 15, Steve Nash, 17, Jermaine O'Neal, 20, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. This got to be one of the best drafts of all time.
Yeah, and that is going without saying, like, 8th overall, and I know he wasn't great in the NBA, but Kerry Kittles was a dude from Villanova.
I mean, Kerry Kittles was a starting shooting guard for an NBA Finals team for the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, so he had a good
player.
Yeah, a good player. You did not mention Derek Fisher was also drafted out of Arkansas Little Rock in that draft. Yeah, that's a good draft. That's a good draft. The second round was not very good, but second rounds are never very great. But I'm looking at the second round. Kentucky's head coach Mark Pope was drafted. But yeah, that's not a great second round. But anyways, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, great pick there.
Yeah, well, let's get to Sharif Abdur-Rahim specifically instead of just the draft. So, 3rd overall pick of the Vancouver Grizzlies immediately becomes like the number 1 option. his 18.7 points a game in his rookie year was a franchise record of points per game for them. So number one, it's a bad franchise. But number two, immediate impact as a rookie, would go on to play pretty much every single game, like 82 games, 50 games in the lockout year, 82, 81, 77, 81, played 85 games in the 2003-2004 season because he split it between Atlanta and Portland, 54, 72, 80. So durable as all hell. Only made one all-star team. That was his first season in Atlanta in 2001, 2002. There's a couple things that I'm really fascinated about with Shareef Abdur-Rahim. So first of all, like over 12-year career, he averaged 18.1 points a game and over 20 with Vancouver and Atlanta. So that's number one. Number two is I'm going to give you the teams that he played for, okay? And tell me what they have in common. So he spent 5 years with the Vancouver Grizzlies. He spent 2.5 years with the Atlanta Hawks. He spent 1.5 years with the Portland Trailblazers, and he spent 3 years with the Sacramento Kings. What stands out about those teams?
Not very good.
They're terrible. They are all terrible. That's exactly right. Shareef Abdur-Rahim has, in his 12 years, had one playoff appearance. It was his final season with Sacramento. He had played the second most games in NBA history at 744 without making an appearance in the playoffs. And he made it for the first and only time in 2006 with the Sacramento Kings, and that was his last year. He finished, and you could probably figure this out just based on the quality of teams that he was on. He finished with the lowest career plus minus in NBA history. Shareef Abdur-Rahim, who all-star, he was a gold medalist. He was on Team USA gold medal. So this is not a slouch. This is not a bad player by any means. This is a very, very good basketball player. He finished his NBA career with a plus minus of negative 2,904. He was outscored by almost 3,000 points over the course of his career when he was on the court, a record that still stands today.
Just with bad teams.
You want to talk about just getting dealt really bad hands. Look no further than Shareef Abdur-Rahim, because like a guy that averages 18 points, 7.5 rebounds, was a gold medalist, was an all-star, was all-rookie first team, decorated college basketball player as well, third overall pick in an insane draft. Like, you should be like, oh, this guy, man, what a career he must have had. Probably the poster child for, like, playing in an awful situation and just being bogged down by the awful situations that you were playing in over the course of your career.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. No real playoff win. I mean, yeah, what 6 playoff games you said.
Yeah. So it would have been so that would have been a first round exit. And it wasn't I apologize. It wasn't his last season. It was his first season in Sacramento. He did play 2 more years, but then he retired after that. So it was his first year in Sacramento. So year 10 of his career, he was a 6-man for the Sacramento Kings, and they were out in the first round in 6 games.
So one thing I noted on Shareef Abdur-Rahim that I did not know, did you know that while he was with the Kings front office, well, first he went into coaching, then he went into front office, and he left the team in 2014. Do you know why?
What does it have to do with the job that he currently holds?
Well, I don't know what his current job is, but he left after the 2014 draft because he had arguments with Michael Malone, who was the head coach of the Sacramento Kings then. I did not know that or did not remember that, but that was the rumor, is that he had argument with Michael Malone and also the general manager. But what is he doing now?
Shareef Abdur-Rahim, Rodney, I'm so glad you mentioned this. And this has been one of my favorites. Remember this guy because of all these fun facts. And this one, Rodney, to close it off, he is the president of the NBA's G League.
Oh, wow.
He is the G League president.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that's good for him. I guess. Like, is the G League doing well?
I mean, I wouldn't know, but
he's been in that role since 2018. I had no idea. That's interesting.
Did it become the G League like around that time? When did it go from D League to G League?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I did know he played at the University of California, though. I did know that.
Yes. Cal Berkeley, very high GPA. Yeah, very clearly super smart guy. By the way, so the D League officially became the G League ahead of the 2017-18 season. So it was like right around then where they were like, all right, we've got the G in there, and now we just need a killer president to oversee things. Let's call the losingest player in NBA history, Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's the Remember segment today. Yeah, played from 96 to 2008. Like really good player. And honestly, like considering the level of player that's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, probably would have had a case if his teams would have done anything in the regular season at all.
But that's a good one. That's a good one to remember. Nice player, a Hall of Good. Good player.
Hall of very good. I think Hall of very good. Hall of very good.
But
Hall of dog shit awful teams surrounding him.
Hall of losing. Anyways, good work with that.
All right. Let's get out of here. Thanks to everyone who voted, by the way, for the first ever Dummy Awards. We will definitely do that again next year. You can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. That's where we put the polls today, in case you were wondering. And also, Rodney, I hope that your Substack has been going better than your best bets here on the show. I'm assuming it has.
No, yeah.
But
it has.
Make sure to scan the QR code in the top corner of your screen. It'll go right to Rodney's Substack. Just sign up. It's free. You can pick your inbox every single day. And it'll be football soon. Just remember that.
Very soon.
I think it's just like it's the combination of baseball and soccer and WNBA. Like this is hard. It's hard for anyone to find success here. I think once football gets going, you're going to find your stride.
Yeah, I'll bet that Hall of Fame game and get right going.
Did you get your Bet Us book yet?
No, have not seen it. Not seen it. Well, we'll have to. So, did we pick a date? We did pick a date, aren't we? Are we doing that Hall of Fame? So we have a show on the Hall of Fame game night, August 6th.
That would make sense.
Have we picked a date for
our live stream?
You're going to be traveling at some point.
I'm traveling like the very last weekend of August. I'll be traveling, we have like all of August before then to do something. Well, this would be like a standalone show. Okay. This wouldn't be like one of our Stupid Sports shows. This would be like a standalone special that we do where we just hop on a live stream and we just bullshit and fill out the schedule.
There's going to be 3 people that tune in. Literally,
and they're going to love it.
They're gonna love it. So let's pick a date. That's on the agenda for tomorrow. Then we got to get a date out there because we've got to let people know. We got to let them put it on their calendar. But that news will come.
Sorry, babe. Put that new dress away. Date night's canceled. I gotta watch Rodney and Tim predict the NFL season
on a live stream with their book.
Don't worry. If you're still hungry in 3 hours when the stream's over, we can go out and get something to eat.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, I honestly, I've looked forward to that more than anything else that we've done in the history of this show.
Yeah. It'll be good. I'm ready.
All right, let's get out of here. Thanks again to everyone who participated in the Dummy Awards. We'll see you dummies on Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, for another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. He's Rodney Newpol. I'm Tim Chef Curry Van Stratton. We'll talk to you next time. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.